In today's video, I'm going to explore whether you should update from the Pegasus 35 Turbo to the Pegasus Turbo 2. In this video, I aim to provide an in-depth comparison between the two iterations of the Nike Pegasus Turbo shoe and hope to help you select one or the other for your running needs. Firstly, I'd just like to declare that I bought both of these shoes with my own money, and this is not a paid promotion in any way. These are my honest views on the shoes as per usual, guys. I'm going to look at both shoes from a number of different viewpoints in hope to help you, the viewer, make a purchase. In terms of my research on the shoes, I'm approaching 50 miles in the Pegasus Turbo 2 and almost 200 miles now in the Nike Pegasus 35 Turbos. Okay, let's get started with the fit and feel of the shoes. The original Turbos felt really great on foot, certainly a much stiffer heel counter. If you feel into the shoe here, you can feel that stiff heel counter towards the back of the heel, curving around the entire heel. It's a much stiffer feeling in this shoe. I've found over the miles that you really don't feel the flare at the Achilles here at all. It's certainly an aesthetic design feature. You don't really feel it at all while you're running. A lot of people have found issue with the toe box on the Pegasus 35 Turbo, the original iteration. They felt that it's not really roomy enough for them. A lot of people have struggled with this stripe down the middle here and it pressing on top of their toes and causing some irritation. I can certainly feel it when I put the shoe on. I do feel a little bit of pressure down on my toes from this stripe, but it hasn't really caused me any irritation or blistering or anything like that. But you certainly can feel it. The fly wires work well on this shoe to provide some lockdown, though I have felt some unnecessary tightness when using the additional eyelets here around my ankle there. It caused me a little bit of discomfort to start with, and I started lacing the shoe up in a more conventional fashion. I have always felt that there's a little bit of movement here in the heel area. I've never really been able to achieve the best lockdown possible with this shoe. I don't know whether that's due to the heel materials here. There's a lot of foam around this area of the shoe, so I think that may well be the cause of that problem. A viewer recently commented to me about a strange situation here with the outsole. It seems to sort of bend upwards, including the midsole in fact. It seems to bend upwards. They've certainly noticed that at the heel here and then at the toe, you're almost losing the drop really. It's actually sort of curving, kind of this way really, curving up. I've certainly noticed that after 200 miles in the shoe. The materials on the upper of the shoe are certainly quite soft, they're breathable, but I have noticed a few issues in terms of them letting water in, and they seem to sort of hold on to that water and retain it. Placing your foot into the Pegasus Turbo 2 is a very different story though. There's a lot more room in the toe box of the Pegasus Turbo 2. They've removed this stripe, which does have some negative aspects as well. Your toes feel a little bit freer, there's a lot more room for them to move around, although some of you, if you're using this shoe or intend to use it for racing purposes, that might be a big negative. The lacing system here on the forefoot provides a more equal tension over the front of the foot, and I've certainly noticed that the heel counter area feels drastically different. You've still got some type of reinforced piece here around this area here of the heel, but the rest of the heel is drastically different. There is a sort of spongy pad which goes around the outer parts of your ankle. It doesn't actually go all the way around up to here. It's just this outer section here, and that feels drastically different in terms of lockdown. This padded area, it's relatively shallow really. You don't feel it while it's on foot, but it's certainly doing a good job. Certainly this feels like a lighter, less unwieldy shoe on foot. This is a very welcome feeling, and the difference really is quite pronounced. The booty construction that featured on the Pegasus 35 Turbo original iteration is gone, and it certainly feels like there's a lot less material around your foot in this new iteration of the shoe. Obviously the tongue I've commented on before, it's shorter and it's far less obtrusive than the one on the original iteration. So a very different fit and feel between the two versions of the shoe. So I've talked about the big changes in terms of the fit and feel of the upper of the shoe, but how about the midsole and the outsole? So midsole and outsole units on these shoes, the original iteration and this newer one, are exactly the same as far as I can see. There don't appear to be any considerable differences. But I would suggest that the improved lockdown on the Pegasus Turbo 2 certainly feels like a much more stable shoe to me. There's certainly less movement at the heel area, and you don't get this feeling that you're kind of falling away when you put pressure down on this area of the shoe, that you're falling away into the inner section of the shoe. You don't get this kind of tipping feeling. I certainly felt that quite often wearing the original iteration of the shoe. As I leant slightly into the inner section of the shoe, it did feel as if I was tipping inwards, quite an unstable feeling sometimes. That said, I don't think there's an awful lot between the two shoes in terms of the outsole and the midsole. The materials are exactly the same, and I'm seeing the same types of wear from the Pegasus 35 Turbo on the Pegasus Turbo 2. I'm going to throw a few images up on the screen from my good friends Kev and Mark Burton. They've both got these shoes, the original versions, and wore them quite extensively. Please do have a look at those images now. Kev's really taken this shoe and put it through its paces. I do appreciate it, Kev and Mark. Thanks for the images. Really does help the channel out and this video. So a few closing notes, little things to consider between the two shoes. Certainly the laces that come with the Pegasus Turbo 2, they don't have anywhere near as much give in them as the laces that come with the original Pegasus 35 Turbos. They have much more kind of give, and they weren't anywhere near as long as the ones that you get with the Pegasus Turbo 2. In terms of price, I've noted even today that a lot of different shoe retailers have reduced some of the colourways of the original Pegasus 35 Turbo to around about £100. So you could get yourself a really good deal if you snap up some of those right now. The black colourway does seem to still be in demand, and that's a little more expensive, around about £112. The Pegasus Turbo 2 is still only available in one colourway, which is that electric green and black, at the £159 range, which is a lot of money for a shoe. So, are the changes worth the extra cost? I feel it's close, guys, very, very close. But I feel that the improved stability and the better lockdown, coped with the lighter and more breathable upper, give the Pegasus Turbo a slight edge and do make it worth that extra cost if you're purchasing the shoe without owning the original. If you agree with me or you don't, please comment below. I love answering your questions and seeing your opinions on these different running shoes. Coming to the channel in the next few days, I've got a host of videos for you. I've just taken part in the Ford Abbey 10k race. It was a grueling trail race, the most grueling trail race that I've done, certainly. I was covered in mud, branches, there were tree roots everywhere. I went through a couple of fords. It was crazy, but I'm going to do a race recap for you in the next couple of days once I've gone through some of the footage I've got that's been kindly taken by Yumi Yang. Tomorrow, I'll have a special video for you of the new Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. I've managed to get hold of the shoe. I'm very excited about it, and as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to head out 10 miles and give you my initial impressions on it. As usual, please hit that subscribe button. We've had loads and loads of new subscribers to the channel. I'm so excited and I'm so grateful. Thank you, all of you, if you've subscribed recently or you've been there right from the start. I really appreciate it. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you.